Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about one of the short stories written by this author, Edgar Allan Poe. Specifically, I'll be talking about a short story called The Cask of Amontillado. As I mentioned in my previous video, he's one of the authors who I would actually enjoy reading during like English class or reading class. So anyway, I want to jump into this story, The Cask of Amontillado, because I thought it was really interesting. So this story, The Cask of Amontillado, is a revenge story. The story starts off with this main character named Montresor, who is talking about another character, Fortunato, and he claims that Fortunato has done him 1,000 injuries. Montresor's goal is to get revenge on Fortunato for the things he's done. Montresor doesn't tell us specifically what Fortunato has done. It's just kind of like a mystery as to what he's done, but we know that Fortunato must have done enough like really bad things to make Montresor want to get like serious revenge on him. The story starts off with Montresor. He's walking through the streets during a holiday, right? And since it's a holiday, there's a lot of people in the streets drinking and partying and having fun. And he sees Fortunato walking down the street, and Fortunato is already drunk. And Fortunato is dressed up like a jester, like kind of like in a like comical outfit, and he's wearing this hat that has like these bells that are like dangling from his hat, right? So Montresor starts to talk to Fortunato, and he tells Fortunato that he thinks he has a bottle of wine that's specifically called Amontillado. Like, I don't know a lot about wine, but some of you guys might know a lot about wine, and you might know that Amontillado is supposedly like a fancy, really good kind of wine. And as soon as he tells Fortunato that he has Amontillado, Fortunato's eyes light up and he's like really excited. So Montresor tells Fortunato that he's on his way to meet one of their friends named Lucchesi, and he wants to give Lucchesi the wine so that he can taste it because he's not really sure if it's real Amontillado. He thinks it could potentially be like a fake or like a bootlegged kind of like wine or Amontillado. So he tells Fortunato he's going to go give the wine to Lucchesi so he can taste it and let him know if it's real Amontillado wine. But then Fortunato is like, no, that's messed up. Lucchesi doesn't know wine like I know wine. You should let me drink the wine and taste it, and I can let you know if it's real Amontillado. So now that Montresor has Fortunato hooked, he leads him back to his house. And underneath Montresor's house is like a catacomb slash wine cellar. So it's really weird, but Montresor has like all of his previous like family members, like his grandparents and his great grandparents, all buried in like the catacombs under his house, where he also keeps a lot of his wine, which sounds really creepy, but that's what Montresor has. Anyway, he leads Fortunato down into like this catacomb slash wine cellar. And once again, Fortunato's really drunk. He's just kind of like walking around with Montresor. And at one point, they see Montresor's family crest on like a wall, right? And Montresor's family crest is an image of a foot stepping on a snake, and the snake is biting the foot that's stepping on it in the heel. And the slogan of that is translated roughly as meaning something like, no one injures me without impunity, meaning nobody harms me and just gets away with it. If you're going to harm me, there's going to be some kind of like ramification or consequence to you harming me, right? Which is symbolized in the family crest, right? Like the foot is stepping on the snake because the snake is biting it in the foot. So it's like, if you're the snake who's biting me in the foot, I'm going to step on you. So Montresor leads Fortunato through the wine cellars to the point where he gets Fortunato where he wants him. So he points Fortunato out to like this little empty cellar kind of like space, and he says, oh, go ahead and like peek in here. The Amontillado wine is right here. You should just go in there and grab it, right? So then Fortunato walks into like this little space, and there's these chains on the wall. And when he walks into this little space, Fortunato is really drunk, so he's just kind of like clumsy, and Montresor takes the chains and slaps them on Fortunato's wrists. So now Fortunato is trapped. He's chained to the wall, and he can't get free. So at this point, Montresor has like these bricks all laying about, and he has like what's it called? I think it's like the mortar, like the thing that you put on the bricks to like make them stick as you build up like a wall. So he basically takes these bricks and he starts to like build a wall around Fortunato, and his goal is technically to bury Fortunato alive, right? Like when you think of someone being buried alive, you tend to think like in the ground, they're put in a casket and then they're buried alive, right? But for Montresor, he's going to technically bury Fortunato alive by building a wall around him so that now Fortunato is like chained to this wall and there's just a wall around him and now he's just like technically buried. So Fortunato starts to scream and he's like, "You let me go," that kind of stuff. But Montresor doesn't let him free, and he just builds this wall all around Fortunato to the point where now Fortunato is just stuck there forever. And that's the way in this short story that Montresor gets back at Fortunato. He technically buries him alive. And then the story ends with Montresor talking about this event as being a past event, kind of him explaining like how he got back at one of his enemies a long time ago by burying him in his catacomb slash cellar years and years ago. One of the things about this story that's interesting is Fortunato's name is translated to like the fortunate one, which is funny because in this case he's the opposite of fortunate. In this story he's technically getting screwed, right? So it's funny that the person who ends up um, dying or being buried alive in the story, his name is the fortunate one when he's anything but fortunate. So this story really shows like Edgar Allan Poe's imagination of being able to think of like a dark story where this guy comes up with like a pretty innovative way to like get back at his enemy. Some people, if they want to get revenge, they might just have like stabbed him or like bludgeoned him with like a hard object, but this guy just traps him with chains and then builds a wall around him to where he's now just going to eventually die after standing in that cell for who knows how long. The interesting thing about a revenge story like this is because I feel like some people can relate to this story. While they might not necessarily want to kill the person who's done them wrong, at some point in our lives, maybe we all had somebody who did something to us that we didn't like and we would have liked to have gotten back to them. So reading a story like this allows a person who has been done wrong in the past or has had someone take advantage of them, they can kind of, scratch the itch of wanting to get revenge by reading a story like this. Reading a story like this allows a person to connect with the character because they're like, all right, this person's about to get their revenge. And even if you don't think that killing this person is right, it's still just like a fun little thought experiment or a fun little story for you to engage in to see somebody getting back at someone who's done them wrong. Anyway, this is a short video because it's obviously a short story, but I really liked that story because of the innovative way that Montresor comes up with to actually kill Fortunato. So if you like Edgar Allan Poe, is this one of your favorite Edgar Allan Poe stories? Do you have another story that you prefer to it? I'll probably make some more videos in the future just talking more about some of the other stories in this book because there's a lot of stories in here. I've read some other ones that I really like, so I'll probably be making some videos about that in the future. Anyway, if you have not subscribed to this channel, you can subscribe below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you know anyone who likes Edgar Allan Poe, let them know about this video and let them know I'll be making more videos about Edgar Allan Poe. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.